Hello, everybody. Ciao, ragazzi. It's the Milan Guys podcast, episode 25. We're the Milan Guys here with a very special guest, Marco Palmieri, Serie A commentator for Marco. Who do you commentate for? There's so many different channels. Right?
Yeah, well, officially we do the world feed. So
Yeah,
basically, whoever picks us up gets the option to listen to the English language.
yeah,
So we're on
yeah.
that.
So in Canada for DAZN and TLN, I listen to Marco a lot. I watch many matches with him, and it's honestly it's an honor for you to come on the show. It's hilarious when you hear a voice in a match, and then you actually talk to you on a computer or whatever. It's like, wow, okay, it's different.
Yeah,
Right?
no, I've had the same experience with plenty
Yeah,
of
exactly.
journalists that I've listened to many years over, and then you finally get to meet them or you listen to them, and
Exactly.
it's strange, I know.
I'm also with TMG Marco. Marco, what's going on? There's two
How are you,
Marcos in the
dude?
pod
Yeah,
today.
good to be back. Man.
So, you know what? Let's get right into it. Briefly, Milan, fantastic results. Every single podcast, every week we're doing it's positive. After a comeback win yesterday against Parma, 3-1, after going down for a nice goal from Kurtic, we came back with a beautiful. Oh my God, that goal from Kessie was outstanding, absolutely phenomenal. A curler to the top right corner off the posted in. He looked like Seedorf. Um, and then that Alessio Romagnoli, the captain, scored his first goal of the season, and followed by Hakan, who had a very good match with a goal and 2 assists yesterday. TMG Marco, I guess I'll ask you first. You watched the match, and what are any thoughts on Parma Milan quickly?
The first half, we had so many chances, and I thought we were going to get a goal sooner or later. But when I saw Parma scored, I was very disappointed because we should have had at least 2 goals in by then.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the second half, I think Pioli, he changed the team. He got them, moving more forward, making those shots worth it. And they came back second half, controlling the entire game. And we, like you saw, with Kessie's first goal tying it, and then Romagnoli, and then we got the last goal from Chanaloglu. We just kept on attacking and attacking. So I think that was very positive from the team. Great reaction from 1-0 down.
Yeah, were you able to watch the match, Marco?
Unfortunately, no. I was in the booth next to Owen Nielsen, who was covering that match. So occasionally I listened to him yell and scream. But no, I was preparing another match last night, so I didn't get to see. I saw the goals though, and I've seen highlights.
You see that? What do you think of that Kessie goal? He's really played. He's played since the restart. He looks like a different player.
Yeah, no, Milan are absolutely a perfect team right now. It's hard to describe them in any other way. They have such a great mental attitude going into all of their matches, and you can tell when they even going down a goal against Parma or 2 goals against Juventus. You just they've changed dramatically in that aspect of their game, in their mental approach, and no one other than Frank Kessie can exemplify that. He is just he's put that. His partnership with Benacer, is constantly being selected now with Benacer, and I think they're both doing exceptionally well, and the whole team has just gone along with it, and they're all playing well, and you've got to really put your hats off to Pioli at the moment. How he's managed to turn this team around, it's quite exceptional.
No, you know what? I think Kessie. And the problem is that when he was at Atalanta in I think it was his first season in Serie A, we bought him the next year after that. I believe, and people were talking about this on Twitter yesterday, that he actually he was shining in a double pivot role, and ever since he joined Milan, our formation has predominantly been 4-3-3. So he kind of played like an advanced mezzala role, that's not what he was used to playing. But now he's in a double pivot again, and you can see how he's more comfortable. And again, he's a physical beast, right? He runs for 90 minutes. He doesn't get tired. But especially with a guy like Benacer, who's more finesse, who's great on the ball. He has a great first touch. Kessie doesn't have to play with the ball as much. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to beat men. He has to just play simple passes and stay in position and cover the wing when needed and stuff like that, which I think he's excelling in, obviously. And he said in an interview today, actually, he was praising Pioli, saying that he's taught me what I need to do and what works, and it's really helped me. And honestly, I wouldn't have said this at the beginning of the season, but for me, Kessie's unsellable when he's playing like this. You can't he's 23 years old too, so he can only get better. You hope.
It's incredible when you think about his age. Yeah, you're right. And he was very strong with Atalanta, and Milan, thought they picked up a great buy, and it's taken a while, but now he's putting it together. It was interesting to hear Pioli's words last night as well when he came out and said that they didn't always get along that well. Sometimes you need time.
Was Bilia, like, of course I prefer Benacer right next to Kessie, but just witnessing, like, we need rotation in the team, and that's key. Has been playing a lot, and then I understand that Bilia was starting right off the bat, but just seeing Bilia, he was not the same as Benacer, of course, and he was at fault. I would say I would blame Bilia for the first goal, because that marking left the guy open, which left Romagnoli alone.
Yeah,
I was definitely saying to myself, if Benacer was there instead, that goal would not have happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it was great to see Benacer come in second half, and you saw the change, how those two in the pivot role together, Benacer and Kessie, just phenomenal. And me personally, I don't want to see Billy on the field again, because I just mentally he's just not there physically. But we just need that duo together, Benacer and Kessie.
Yeah,
and we're just going to see Kessie shine even more.
It's tough, right? And again, Milan have obviously lacked in depth over the last, a lot of people call it the banter era. Okay, on Twitter, I guess. I don't know, Marco. Have you heard that term before? The banter era. Have you heard that?
No,
never. So I guess that's like a Twitter thing. So it's called the banter era because of this. I guess since the Scudetto win in 2011, I guess since the Champions League. Yeah, I guess we made the Champions League in 2013. So ever since then, it's kind of been downhill. But the teams are we actually are better than we were 4 or 5 years ago when our star midfielder was Andrea Poli. But obviously, you look at squad depth, and you look at a team like obviously I hate to talk about it, but Juve, they have a lot of depth in their team. And yesterday I was watching Juve Sassuolo. They bring on Douglas Costa. He starts on every single Serie A team. You know what I mean? So it's like, wow. That's obviously a thing that we have to improve, and hopefully in the project it includes that. But okay, so we talked about Parma Milan. We'll dive for a few minutes into Milan Napoli with 2-2 on the weekend, which again, another good result for Milan in my opinion. At San Paolo, it's very tough to win there, and Napoli are in pretty decent form. I'd say they lost Atalanta. Marco, the other Marco, did you watch that match, Milan-Napoli, on the weekend, or were you on call for somewhere else?
I watched that match. It was really great.
No, the other Marco. Not you.
No, I did watch Milan-Napoli. I enjoyed it a lot. It was great.
So I feel like it was a pretty open match. It's pretty entertaining.
Absolutely. No, Napoli, not to be underestimated. They came into it full of confidence as well, and basically you're both fighting for 5th place. And there's a lot to play for. Like, that's an important position when you look at the Europa League for next year. You don't want to be in 6th or 7th. I guess it depends where Napoli end up. I think it's definitely within Milan's reach, and especially no harm done.
Yeah,
it was a good result for Milan.
No, for sure. And you know what? It's a tight race because Roma won yesterday, but there's a lot of controversy. I don't know if you saw the highlights, but the penalty, Jordan Vertu penalty, was very controversial. And Hellas Verona, I think Juric, the coach, got sent off after the penalty call. They were very mad about it. The Roma won, and they are, I believe, 4 points up on Napoli and Milan for the 5th spot. But you look at the schedule, and Roma have a pretty tough go. They still have Juve and Inter, I believe.
They play Inter on the weekend.
Next week, yeah. So, and then you look at Napoli's schedule, they're a little bit like, looking, obviously, the game is played on the field, I understand. But you look at the schedules, and Milan, if we can take advantage and secure the points, we have a better looking schedule than Napoli and Roma. I think Napoli play Lazio and Inter, I think. Lazio, Inter, I think Napoli play. Yeah. I believe so. And our hardest match left, obviously, who I think is the best Serie A team this season, we play Atalanta, which is going to be a tough match. I've never seen a team play football like Atalanta. Marco, I don't know about you, but I guess, have you gotten a few of Atalanta's matches recently? Because they They shine every game. It's just constant attack. It's crazy.
They're the pride of Italy right now.
Really?
You just can't stop talking about Atalanta. Everybody loves to see them, and they were, it was so disappointing, I guess, from a neutral's point of view, to see the match against Juventus, where they did everything right to win that match. They are absolutely
Marco, that match. I watched the match, and obviously you did it too, and Juve weren't scoring any goals that match if it weren't for the penalties. Atalanta were going to win that match hands down. They did everything they had to do. I think the Zapata goal, I believe. I don't think Juve touched the ball in Atalanta's half for like 8 minutes or something like that. I think 7 minutes or something. I saw a video on Twitter. It was like a fast forward sped up video, and Juve literally couldn't touch the ball in their half. Atalanta were just playing mesmerizing football, and you look at the wage bill. I think Ronaldo makes more money than all of Atalanta's players.
Yeah, absolutely, probably. Yeah,
so that's a tough match for Milan. But we got Bologna on the weekend. But a team like Bologna is a team that's a wild card. They can come out and look great, but then you see them lose to like a Lecce kind of thing, right?
They tied against Inter, actually Napoli.
They beat Inter.
They beat Inter with 10 men.
They beat Inter and they tied Napoli. So we faced them next, and I'm nervous for Bologna because Mihajlovic is a great coach. They got a good team, Bologna, and what they have done the past couple of games, Milan have to be ready. They can't just go in thinking it's going to be an easy win. So they definitely have to prep. And then Luca, you made a point before me and you spoke prior. Or you made a comment on Twitter, but that penalty at the end with Ronaldo, that kind of, who knows? I think maybe that might be the penalty that gives Juventus the Scudetto.
Honestly, I truly think, and Marco, we were talking, me and Marco, before you joined in, that I believe that penalty to make it 2-2, that wins the Scudetto for them, because if not, Atalanta get 3 points, and suddenly they're 4 points back of Juve, and Juve have a tougher schedule than Atalanta. So it's tough, and obviously I'd love to see someone else other than Juve. I think Atalanta truly deserve a Scudetto. I truly believe it. I think they've been the best team in Serie A this season. I've watched Juve. I watch all the matches of everybody, and Atalanta play football that is unmatched. They dropped some cheesy points earlier in the season. They lost to Spal. And they lost to, I want to say Torino too in the first leg. I don't know, because he literally got a hat trick against Torino in the return leg, I believe. But anyway, Atalanta are a really, really tough team. And then we also play Sassuolo next week, who, as you've seen against Juve yesterday, Sassuolo can play. And they have a very good starting 11 with Jeremy Boga, Domenico Berardi, Locatelli, Caputo. Ciccio Caputo is the Fantacalcio legend. Scores every game.
He's a great player.
He scores every game. He does a celebration with his hand. With the pinky and the thumb out. He does that. He's a Fantacalcio legend.
Sassuolo aren't going to be easy. Absolutely. So Milan have got 3 very tough matches, I think, in the next week, and then they finish it off with Sampdoria and Cagliari, who basically won't have anything to play for. So they've got to make sure that they keep their concentration levels high in the next week. And I reckon that 5th place is theirs for the taking. Roma, I can't see them. Well, at least I don't know. It's going to be strange to see them against Inter. I think 2 sides that are so inconsistent. It's difficult to predict that one. But it's not beyond the realms of possibility that they drop points against Inter and then later on in the season. So I think Milan have got a good chance of finishing 5th.
Yeah, you know what though? And again, Marco, you followed Serie A for so many more years than I have. But in this Milan, the last couple of years, and when they've struggled, it's the points that we've dropped against someone like Sampdoria and Cagliari that ruins our chances of a top 4 finish, right? So
you can say that about any team. Basically, that's not Juventus right now.
I know.
I think to win the Scudetto, you've got to beat those teams consistently.
Well, I always say, right, it's not about the team. It's not about the matches against the top 3 opponent. Like, obviously, when you play like a Lazio or Juve or Inter, you want to beat them. But if you lose that match and they're ahead of you, that doesn't mean as much as you dropping points to teams you're supposed to beat, right? You're supposed to beat Spal. You're supposed to beat Lecce. And when you drop those points, that's when it really kills you, right? It really kills your momentum and confidence, and then the team starts doubting themselves against in every other match, right? Because they failed against a team where it's a weaker opponent, and again, the wage bill is 3 times or 4 times.
But that's always been one of the attractions of Serie A in general. There are no easy beats. Any team can beat any other on their day. So unfortunately, unless you're a Juventus fan, like having one team dominate for so long, can basically put that argument to rest. But I don't know. I think we've just been in that situation where economically there hasn't been any other team to compete with Juventus. But
exactly.
So they have a very long squad. They have amazing substitutes, as you mentioned before, Douglas Costa. Who knows how long he's going to accept that role as a super sub for somebody.
Not long. Not long. He's a good player. I mean, he's had injury problems, but he's a good player.
Phenomenal, yeah. His pace. Also, guys, I have a great question for you guys. Against the Napoli game, what I'm hearing was that when Zlatan was subbed off, he kind of got into a scruffle with Pioli, that he was upset that he was subbed off early, right? I'm hearing that he kicked the water bottle and he was frustrated. So then yesterday we saw against Parma that he played the full game, which I was very surprised. Now, do you think Zlatan's going to be playing majority of the game now, or is he going to still play like maybe 50, 60 minutes?
I don't know. Like, it's like the Zlatan situation is so tough. And Marco, I guess you might have some inside sources around Milano, but what's the word with Zlatan over there? Like, who knows? And no one knows. It's like, because with Zlatan, typical Zlatan, he would say, "Hey guys, by the way, I'm not playing here again next year." And then you'll see 5 days later him sign a 2-year contract. That's Zlatan, right? But what's going on?
I think he's having fun. That's one thing at the moment that you can definitely tell. Like, the fact that when he's playing, he enjoys himself. And he likes to be a motivator. Even when he gets substituted, he's always there giving advice. He's always a big part of the team, and he's made his presence felt. And he wants to continue that if he can. But at the moment, there's so much uncertainty around the club, as not just from the coaching point of view with Pioli, but just as managerial. And the ownership it's always interesting when you've got a hedge fund or an equity fund that is that's owning your club.
I'm not sure what we are. I'm not sure what.
So I'm sure that would have a lot to do with what Zlatan decides next season. But at the moment, I think he has contributed for sure to the success.
Well, we were talking about the mentality, right, of Milan, and in your opinion, do you think that this mentality of coming down from behind against Napoli, against Parma, do you think that's the Zlatan effect? Like, do you think he's had that much of an effect on the squad that he's like a player coach, right? Like, he coaches on the sideline, he on the field. Even it's hilarious. Even when it's his fault, like the play, like if he makes a mistake, he's telling guys with his hands what to do. It's like, hey, you made the mistakes.
Yeah, you hear him yelling, which is wow. He's frustrated out there. He's yelling at Kessic on the logo.
Yeah. The only thing is that, like, with Zlatan, he looks good still out there. Don't get me wrong. He doesn't look 38. The only thing is that why would he want to go and, like, I feel like he'd want to play important matches still. If he stays in Milan this season, if we give him if we want, obviously, if the management wants him, and Rangnick, if he wants him, I feel like he thrives under pressure. Like, you saw him against Lazio and Juve. Against Juve, he was, Marco, I don't know if you saw this against Juve in the 4-2 win. He was like into it on the bench with some Juve players. He was into it. He was laughing when he scored his. Like, I feel like he's not done playing important matches yet. I don't know. I feel like it'd be in his best interest to stay at a club that could play important matches next season. Where is he going to go after this? He's going to go back to Sweden in the club he owns, Hammarby. I think it's called Hammarby. I'm not sure. I feel like
it's an interesting one.
I don't know.
He just wants to, I guess, feel important. I think at this point of his career, he just knows that wherever he goes, as long as he's a part of the team. I mean, at the moment, I can't see him playing full matches, for too much longer. The other night. So he did actually play a full match last night. That's news to me. I didn't realize that. I didn't think he'd managed, but he's got a. it's a good thing, I guess. Maybe he had a word to Pioli. If he can do it, then he has to. Maybe there's other circumstances around that Pioli accepted and said, okay, I'll let you play for the whole match. But
well, I mean, if he really is leaving in a couple matches, then you know what? Let him play. Let him play then, right? Yeah, exactly. So
he was hinting towards never playing, or not playing again. I think retiring as well at the end of the season. So there was a post-match interview that he did on DAZN here. I think it was.
I saw that.
Yeah, exactly. So he did hint that. It wasn't explicit, but he said, maybe it's the last opportunity that you'll get to see me play live. Anyone. So it's a shame that there aren't fans to watch a match like the Juventus match.
Oh my
was
goodness.
a big disappointment, but hey. 83,000 people at the San Siro watching Juventus Milan, or Milan beat Juventus. I think I had the privilege of commentating a match actually when Locatelli scored the winner.
Oh, wow.
That
was a few years back.
Remember. You were the voice in that match. I remember now. Yes, 2016, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Marco
Locatelli.
On Roma, that last save by Khedira.
Oh my God, a beautiful save.
Save.
And Marco, I don't know if you remember, but Galliani, right after the match, final whistle, Galliani with the yellow tie was standing up, celebrating. He was fist pumping. Adriano Galliani with the lucky yellow tie. You never caught him without a yellow tie in
exactly.
Mercato or a big match. So I guess we talked about that. Marco, I want to focus on your career with Serie A and everything. Just how long? Tell us how long you've been doing this in Italy, and tell us what it means to commentate a match, especially like you were saying you did Juve Milan, the Coppa Italia first leg in February, which was, I believe, was sold out. What does it mean? Like, how does it feel? What does it mean to
I don't know. It's a difficult question to answer because I still kind of don't really think of it as a career. I studied other stuff. I work for a bank. I'm in IT. I do other things, but and this was an opportunity that just came when I moved to Italy like 15 years ago. So I took it. I thought, I'll give that a go. I grew up in Australia watching Italian football. I loved it. Me and my dad would wait up, very late at night to watch matches, or wake up in the morning to watch whoever. And so it was always a part of my life, just watching Italian football, but from a very long way away. And then when I moved here, this kind of opportunity came up, and I thought, I'll give it a go. And so it just kind of grew from there. But I never expected it to become what it has. And I know I basically traveled around Italy, just going to stadium every weekend with Richard and Paul, Owen, and all the other Serie A commentators that I'm sure you know. So it's all still a bit of a dream, but I love doing it. I'll keep doing it, even the smaller matches. If I get the chance to do them, I just enjoy watching football and watching all sports, to be honest. So that's my story.
That's awesome. You know what, Marco, it's funny you say that, but like the small, like, you know what, I was talking to a few friends, and I have obviously I'm in Canada, and I've always had a dream, like, going to Italy for like 8 months and just following a Serie A season, going to different cities and going to matches. Obviously it's tough. It's a tough dream, but it'd be cool. But I have a soft spot for like, what's around, like to watch like a Lecce versus Brescia, just like a simple, like a provinciale match.
That's where you get the real emotion.
It's true.
Lecce, the Via del Mare is an incredible stadium. It's
God.
It's always such a passionate place.
It's right on the water. It's right on the water, right? It's right near the water.
Yeah, it's close. The Via del Mare.
The Mare. So I guess there's just, I love those small little states, like obviously San Siro and the Stadio Olimpico. Obviously, these are fantastic historic stadiums. But, you don't get the true, the provinciale feel, you know what I mean? It's so, and I love watching, a Spal Lecce, or, actually there's a big match coming up next week, Lecce Genoa, which is going to be huge for the relegation battle. Do you have that match?
Yeah.
Do you have that match?
No, I'm doing Spal Brescia, I think, on
Spal
Sunday.
Yeah, that's another great.
Hey, see,
Well,
that's
I
what
think
I'm
they're
talking
both.
about.
Maybe they'll get a chance to save themselves, but at the moment they're not looking too good.
I
But
think I
no,
have
Lecce,
1-1.
their season's riding on that match. Absolutely.
I
I'm
think
actually waiting for the Sampdoria and the Genoa game. That's going to be great.
it's going to be a good derby.
That's like those are the games that it's not a Milan versus Juventus, but that other derby right there is just a beautiful thing to watch and just shows you the passion in Serie A. And on the Mark, I do have to say, I give you so much credit waking up like late at night because I do have family members in Australia, and they tell me the pains that they got to wake up so early just to watch the City.
Oh, but back in the day, I guess, because is it 24 hours ahead of us? So I guess 12 hours ahead of Italy, or what is it?
There's a 8-hour difference, I guess, depending on what time or what part of the year it is. But so it was 4:30 in the morning usually.
Oh my god!
For the big matches. So on a Monday morning, so I'd basically get up, go to bed a bit early, and then go to school after watching the match.
That's awesome. You know what? That's actually not too bad. You watch the match and then go to school. That's actually not too bad of you don't miss the match.
True.
I guess even like the Champions League fixtures, they were probably what? They were probably what time?
Same time of day. Same time of day.
Wow. So was your time when you were you like 90s? Were you 80s, 90s?
Oh, I started following Italian football in 84. Yeah, okay. I think.
So it was. So you remember the great Milan and Van Basten and stuff like that. You were.
Absolutely. Yeah, George Weah was a big idol of mine when I was a kid. I mean, I came to Italy. I think the first time I went to the San Siro was in '95.
Wow. Did you see Maldini, Baresi?
Yeah. So Baggio was playing.
Roberto Baggio.
For Milan. It was actually, I remember it was Milan Cremonese. My cousin took me to see a match, and it was quite emotional. But I'd been following Italian football before then because I'd come and visit. And
isn't it hilarious? Isn't it hilarious that you went to go watch the match there, and now you're in the stadium, in a packed stadium, and you're the English voice for it, right? It's hilarious, right? It's crazy how life takes you to different opportunities and stuff.
Absolutely.
So I guess one simple question: how good was Marco Van Basten? Because obviously I'm too young for it, but how good was it?
He was brilliant, but his career got cut short quite abruptly. But no, I mean watching him for Holland was quite good, but watching him play Milan in matches is sensational with Hullet and Rijkaard. Those three were incredible. And then you had the other side of Milan with the German trio.
Yeah.
So it was it was obviously a great time to be watching Italian football. It was like the NBA of football.
Yeah, exactly.
All eyes are watching Italian football back then.
Yeah. So you So wait, am I wrong? So was it the '94 World Cup that Baggio missed? Was it '94?
Yeah, '94.
Okay, so '94. So you watched Baggio in '95. Were they still angry at him when he had the ball?
No, they forgave him pretty quickly.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories that he missed on purpose, eh?
Nah. There was also who was Baresi also missed, and
I know, but Roberto Baggio was one of the best players in the world. He put it. I think he put the ball back to another stadium.
Yeah, but without Baggio, we would not be in the final. So
Baggio was so good that tournament. I remember watching the video. He was so good in that tournament.
He was a legend.
Yeah. So that's an amazing story, and obviously, I wish I was kind of around I'm 98, so I briefly remember when Milan were strong in like 2007, for example. I don't remember too much, but I remember winning the Champions League against Liverpool, Pippo Inzaghi at the double. But aside from that, it's kind of been, and even for Marco too. And Marco, you're 99, right?
98.
Are you 98 too? Yeah. Okay. So obviously, it's been a tough go for us for Milan. So I guess we haven't done too much.
For us were like early 2000s, but we were young. But I think towards 07, 08, 09, the best was like the Scudetto, right? 2011, which
Ibra,
that Thiago Silva, Nesta, Pirlo, all those guys.
Yeah.
But after that, it's just a decline, and it was awful. Like we've been suffering. So I'm like, Marco has seen the legend, the Dutch trio, Baggio, the greatest team ever to live. And I'm like, we're here.
But Milan have a very, very big fan base all over the world. It is incredible, and it's not one of the, it's not one of those fan bases that are going to die no matter if the results are bad or not. They are there. They're just waiting for their moment to come again. It's a shame that both Milan sides have fallen a little bit away in the last 10 years, and haven't won much. But there is a big presence around the world, and both teams need to tap into that. And you guys, for example, are a great example of how it can, just be great again. I think when you get the influence from a lot of foreign, fans, they realize that they've got a big support base, and they need to be able to exploit that. And I can see it just from looking at the views on YouTube. How many Milan matches, or even people that read articles online, you get, the Milan articles are always way above any other team. It's okay, Juventus maybe not, but you just get that feeling, despite the fact that they haven't been doing so well in results. There's still a massive community out there, and so good luck to you guys, and well done keeping them united.
Hey, honestly, we have a nice Milan club, Toronto, here in Toronto. It's actually getting pretty big, and the Milan came with the Champions League trophy a couple of years ago to the club, so it's nice. And there's a lot of clubs in the States too, in New York, Boston.
New York, we actually went last summer, and Baresi came, and that was a dream. At first, I was in the bathroom at the event, and all of a sudden I look over, and I'm like, Baresi's right there taking a piss right next to me. Like, what's going on?
Wait, you didn't tell me? Are you serious?
No joke, Luca. Yeah, this is
he was in the urinal right beside you?
Yeah, I'm in the urinal, and then like the next person right there was taking a piss right next to me, Baresi. And I was like, wow, like in my head, I'm like, this is a dream right now.
Oh my God.
I told Baresi, I'm like, thank you for everything in Italian. And he was like, oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I think he speaks English too. I think he does a little bit.
He does. Yeah.
He's a pretty good ambassador for Milan. He's always kind of been around.
But like you said, like the Milan club, Toronto, and then you got New York. Those clubs,
Philly too, Boston.
Philly has a great one. Boston, Montreal
too.
Those type of clubs just bring the fans together. And like Marco is saying, like there's so many fans like us, even younger too, that they're out there. It's just once we come back, I think, especially like a period like now, with the articles that are making, people are creating, it just shows you that there are fans out there, and we're just gonna wait until that time comes, until we're great again. But I think the good times will arrive soon. So.
Yeah. Well,
have you guys downloaded the Milan app, by the way? Not that I want to do any ads or anything like that.
Yeah, I have.
Because there was a lot of talk earlier in the year that they were trying to invest in getting English language commentary, not just the first team, but also like historical matches and the women's team. So it was all going to get broadcast on the app. So now I think even the press conferences are done in English.
Yeah. I think actually it's I think it's one of your colleagues who do the voiceover in English.
Yeah, Patrick Kendrick.
Patrick Kendrick. Yeah, Well, I chatted in DM with Richard and Patrick. I think they're going to come on the show at some point too, in another episode, because I love all you guys. I love all the. You guys are all different. I like how you guys are all different voices, and it's funny because again, I've been watching Serie A on in Canada on the things for years now, and I know all your voices. I knew your name because you always say, "I'm Marco Palmieri." So but sometimes the commentators don't say their name at the beginning of the show, at the beginning of the game, or the end of the match. So I'm like, okay, what's this guy's name again? I know his voice. I know it's hilarious because I've watched so much that I literally know what you guys are gonna say when there's a good opportunity or something like that. And I know like Richard Whittle, he has a very unique voice. Like that was a chance, and I love it. It's great. And I'm gonna have him on the show too. But he's a big Roma guy. I guess he would like to talk about the Roma and the battle of fifth for Milan. But the Milan, I'm actually on it. I'm looking at it right now. So they have like this when Pioli talks in the press conferences, they have like an English voiceover. I think there's an option. I think you can go to the Italian version and or the English voiceover. And then they have
that's an example of one way that you can connect with a worldwide audience, and I think it's the right thing. If they can get more images and media that can be published on the app, and I think they're going to have a lot more success in rounding up numbers and and improving the team.
Yeah, exactly.
With the app, I think they're doing a good job, like you said, with all those images, videos. Just
I think
English.
Inter set the standard as far as the media house is concerned. They have their own production company that do all those kind of little tiny introductions, and so they've done a very good job in recent years.
I thought Juve had done a good job too.
Yeah,
Juve do a good job.
Yeah.
Marco, what's your thoughts on Rock Nation now? We signed an agreement.
Yeah.
So we're going to be.
I read about that. Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's one of the public. What do you call it? PR? Yeah, public relations.
Jay-Z. You know Jay-Z? Yeah. It's him. So I mean, that's great. I think it's great for the club. I mean, kind of gives you some more exposure and more popularity.
Absolutely.
And maybe some people in the States will be like, hey, look at this AC Milan club. You know what I mean? AC Milan.
I remember actually when I first read it, I thought of the one time I went to see a basketball game in New York. I went to see the Brooklyn Nets, and they had there was a lot of Jay-Z influence in the actual match. You know, like the DJ and the music and the way exactly.
He's a part owner of them, man. Yeah.
So it kind of got me thinking. Okay, do they want to try and get a bit more decent music at the stadium? I guess for halftime, what are we going to say? Is it just going to be a different? Is that how they get to influence? I don't know. It probably might happen like that. There's probably a whole other angle.
Yeah, and that's the thing with, and I guess I can ask your thoughts in a couple of minutes. I wanted to ask you about, and you're in Milan, all right? So you hear a lot of things. I'm sure you have friends in the city who are Milanisti and Interisti, I'm assuming. There's probably even more Juventus. You know what? A lot of and like you're talking about, like the global influence. When Juve signed Ronaldo, look how many followers they gained, right? Just from signing Ronaldo. And now when I'm at work here, or when I'm in public here in Canada, I see these guys with Ronaldo Juve jerseys. I'm thinking that guy doesn't watch Serie A. No way. There's no way he watches Serie A, right? But he's wearing a Ronaldo Juve jersey, right? I know like there's like pretty decent Portuguese population in Canada where I am, and I know that a lot of these like guys that I know from school and stuff, they're all posting on Instagram Juve stories. I'm thinking, the one time message I said, "Hey," I said, "You're a Juve fan?" He goes, "No, like now I am because of CR7." And I go, I thought you were a Real Madrid fan. What's going on? I always knew you as a Real Madrid fan. Now so it's kind of like a global influence thing. And I think bringing Ibra back kind of put more eyes on Milan a little bit, because everybody, Ibra's kind of a global character influence. His interviews, he's cocky, he's this, he's that, he's great. And I actually saw, I don't know, Marco, if you saw when Zlatan was playing MLS, the Galaxy, his 500th goal was against Toronto FC, the one where he did like a ninja kick, a spin ninja kick. I don't know if you remember that goal or not.
Sure. Yeah.
I was actually in attendance for that. I was wearing my Milan jersey, and he scored that goal where he did like a 360 ninja kick, and it was just such a Zlatan goal, and it was hilarious. We actually beat the Galaxy that match, so I was still happy either way. But I've seen Zlatan live, and just seeing him with Milan again is great, and I think it's good for a global influence standpoint too, and people will watch. Like I guarantee you, more people watched the Milan Juve game. We won 4-2 because it was Zlatan versus Ronaldo, right? People are interested in that. And that's why like the Premier League, it's a lot of it's TV broadcasting, right? And that's why the Premier League is so above other leagues, because there's so much more money in their TV broadcasting, right?
They put a lot of money in. The TV money in England isn't comparable to the money that the Serie A teams get at the moment for TV, and it's not just the Premier League; it's also the Championship. They're all flooded with money.
Too. I think I saw that. I think Leeds, so Leeds United. I think they pay their players more than Atalanta do.
It's possible.
I think. Do you know Matteo Bonetti on Twitter? Matteo Bonetti,
Sure.
He tweeted. I remember when Atalanta was winning matches in the Champions League. I think he said something like, "Just a reminder that Leeds United have there's more like they have more money on the payroll than Atalanta do." And it's like, wow, like a team that struggled to get out of the Championship, and it's crazy. Like the team who gets relegated from the Premier League is getting more money than like Milan from TV. It's crazy. It doesn't in your head. It's like, how does that make sense? But obviously England's done a good job for it, and hopefully Italy can. I mean, I guess from I've been to Italy many times. I'm Italian Canadian. Italy's I've always kind of considered really kind of behind in that standpoint in comparison to other countries like England. But I feel like
but the example of Juventus, I think, is something that has to be taken
for sure.
seriously. And teams like Milan and Inter and Roma, you know, they're teams that should be competing in Europe on a regular basis. There's no question. Napoli, absolutely, they had the possibility to go further in Champions League, but yeah, they're teams that need to figure out how Juventus did it and follow in their footsteps. And they know that it's possible, and they're the teams that can really compete with the Premier League teams at the moment.
Yeah,
Spain, you've got Barcelona and Real Madrid, and then really not much else after that. They're the ones that are just constantly up there. PSG in France and Bayern Munich. But we can't just be a one-team country. Like, it can't just be Juventus. That there has to be other influences, and I think TV money is one thing, but you know, Juventus have shown that they can still do it without TV money, and obviously the stadium is a big influence, marketing, and they need to invest and figure out how to tap into that cash cow.
Well, you know what? The management's a big problem too, because you look at Napoli with Aurelio Di Laurentiis, and you look at what, like, he's kind of a I don't know, he's decent, but the way he conducts business is a bit odd, I'd say.
And he makes sure his money's there. Like, he's very worried about his money because he owns his body. He owns
body too, yeah. But like, the issue is he's also isn't he a film producer?
Yeah, that's what he. Yeah, there's film producer.
Yeah, isn't he? Did he produce Gomorrah or no? Did he help produce Gomorrah?
I think Sky, something with Sky.
So anyway, with Napoli, I don't know, Marco. I don't know if you saw who Napoli's signing, Osimhen from Ligue 1. Osimhen. They're signing him for Di Marzio confirmed it. That's in closing. They're signing him for like 70 million euro.
Wow.
And the rumor has it is that Gattuso might take a pay cut to help pay for the transfer.
Yep.
And that's just like that just can't happen. That doesn't happen. And like, you think Chelsea, you think Frank Lampard's taking a pay cut to pay for Timo Werner? No. It's just kind of tough. Like, I just think, just to respond to what you're saying about these teams, right? Like, how can you compete with the big teams when stuff like that's happening? You know, like, it's just like, okay, obviously, either the president, the owners being cheap, or the money's just simply not there. I don't know. And even when you look at Milan with the Chinese ownership, Marco, I'm sure you remember this. You know, look how much money we invested there, but the money we used money that we didn't have. It was crazy. And that's why I think, and now with Roma, with Pallotta, there's a lot of issues there too, right? Tons of issues there. So I think, and Juve, obviously, with the Agnelli family, I know I'll always say, I mean, I know you can't, but as a fan, I can say that I feel like they're a bit corrupt, but I can say that. But obviously they're financially very well off, right? They own Fiat, I believe. They're well off. They don't struggle with financial stuff. Obviously they were able to spend, I think it was 100 million, not including wages, on Cristiano Ronaldo.
There's a lot of factors involved. I mean, they've been able to capitalize on opportunities that have been given to them, and whether or not those opportunities were, as you say, maybe, you know, all above board, that's for somebody else to discuss. But you know, it goes back, you know, to when the Delle Alpi, the old stadium, was replaced by what's now known as the Allianz Stadium. I mean, those kind of things that Juventus were able to capitalize on, and they made the most of the situation. But
you're right.
Mismanagement is something that's followed Italian clubs around quite a bit. And Milan hasn't. Can't exclude them from that list.
No,
so,
definitely not.
And something needs to change. Let's just look forward to the future. Now the San Siro is another issue that.
I wanted to ask you about that. I wanted to ask your thoughts about. And obviously, this is just an opinion thing. It has nothing to do with, like, what do you think about like, do you think we should have, like, the Milan should renovate San Siro, or do you think it's a good idea to build a new stadium with smaller, I think 60K, I think they said, around 60? Do you think
I
it's a
think
good
60, 65 would be a good number as long as you can host the Champions League final.
Yeah,
So
true. There's a lot of money in that, right? A lot of money.
yeah, absolutely. But it's also it's a very difficult subject. I know there's a lot of emotion around the San Siro and what it means to a lot of people. And
I've been, yeah. It's
amazing. Yeah. It'll be something definitely missed if you just go there and you don't see anything anymore. That's something that I would really be against. So I think that if the project involves keeping even a structure or part of it outside, it just gives you some idea of where it was, what it was, just some kind of an idea that that's where it was and what it, because you don't want to lose it completely. But I understand that you can't renovate it, and if you can't renovate it, you need a new one. And if you need so modern day stadiums, I've been very fortunate to have visited quite a few, and there's not, you can't compete. They're brilliant.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. But I could say that we are all fortunate that us three had been there. A lot of Milanese they haven't, but we're very fortunate, and it's a great stadium. But we'll see what they do. I do.
But a lot of people say that it was great before, Italia 90, when they put the third ring on it. They remember that part of the San Siro. And then ever since it's been different. So different people have different perspectives. And
my name was actually to that stadium, the one that you mentioned, Marco, before the renovation and all that, and he said it was great, even though it was smaller. But he's like, the atmosphere was incredible. It was nothing like it. His favorite player was Rivera at the time, so. And he loved it. But I do want to bring this up right now. Last show we talked about Pioli, Maldini, and their future, because right now there's a lot of question marks, and we don't know what's going to happen. And I just want to get your thoughts on, like, Pioli, is he going to stay, you think, or Maldini is going to leave? So what do you think is going to happen? Because me personally, it's going to hurt me to see Pioli leave. I really like Pioli. I think he has done a great job. And if he leaves, I think we're going back to square one.
Yeah.
Like, having a new coach, starting up, creating, relationships with the players again, getting to know them. It's just going to be a whole process. That's why I think keeping Pioli is really key to the team. And also what we've seen from the transfer window, the signings that Maldini has brought in, Theo, Benacer, we got Rebic, Leao, all these other guys, like, they really made an impact on the team. So to let go of Maldini is another factor, and we're going to lose a lot. So I think we need to keep Maldini and Pioli, because I think they have done a great job. And a lot of people saying, like, 2 years ago, last year, whatever, to get rid of Maldini. And I'm like, you know what? You can't just say that very soon, because you got to give someone time. And we did give them time, and we saw, especially now, that Pioli, Maldini have been doing a great job. So I just want to see, like, what you guys think. Like, keep Maldini, keep Pioli. Like, what do you guys say?
I'll go first. So
no problem.
I got to say, the last 6 weeks, I guess, since the post-lockdown start of the season, has changed so much for Milan. And if they had this idea of bringing in Rangnick before, I think it's going to be very difficult, but not impossible for them, to keep along that path. But apart from the Pioli Rangnick thing, I think if you look at Maldini, like, they knew what they were doing when they got Maldini in there in the first place. The type of person that he represents, the type of person that he is an institution for the club. He is somebody that would, he doesn't want to be there as just an icon. He said that many, many times. He doesn't want to be that ambassador role that you mentioned earlier that Baresi was. Mm-hmm. He wants to have some absolute input into how the club is run, and be that as a sporting director, or he's enjoying his top floor office in the Milan building. Yeah, exactly. So in Casa Milan. So I mean, he if he feels that that's not going to happen, if he feels that the ownership or whoever it is, Gazidis, aren't prepared to keep him in as an influence for the club, then, and surely that's also going to be filtered down to Pioli and some of the players. I think it's gonna be a very negative effect on Milan, considering where they are at the moment and what they've been able to achieve in these last few weeks. And Pioli, every time he gets asked a question, he's always trying to avoid it. But the one thing that he always, does try to put into those questions about his future is that, well, it's not just going to be the club that decides, it's also going to be me, I'm going to make the decision. This isn't, I've put my career out here. I'm enjoying my time. I'm concentrating on making sure that, we get our objectives for the end of the season. But I don't know. I don't really want to, he says he doesn't really want to be at a team that has so much uncertainty around its future structurally. It is such a shame. You feel for Milan because they're back. They're playing great football. They're definitely one of the teams that are in top form, along with Atalanta and Sassuolo after this post-lockdown part of the season. And and then the new season will start so quickly. It's 12th of September. They're not going to have much time, so they need to get their act together. And I think Pioli would love to be able to have a pre-season with his team as well and be able to select the players, because it also comes down to his influence in who the players he wants and all that kind of stuff. So if he gets an opportunity from another side, another team, I'm sure they're all knocking on the door right now if they feel that Pioli is going to be leaving Milan. So he'll have to make that decision.
No, but I totally agree. I think, I don't know. It's a tough situation, but I think I give great respect to Pioli. He's been such a professional, such a signore during this time, right? Like you said, imagine being a coach, and the whole time from day one, because I think the Rangnick rumor started before Christmas. The day one, since day one, you're trying to coach a team who was in trouble, right? With Gianpaolo, you can say we were in trouble. We did not look good with Gianpaolo whatsoever. And Pioli, comes in, and Rangnick's they're talking about the new coach already. Well, he's at the helm. Give the guy a chance. He's been such a professional. He hasn't complained. He just puts his head down and does his job, right? And I give so much respect to him for that, because he's, again, and look at now, after the restart, we look like we're us and Atalanta are the most informed teams in the league, has to be said. We out of we played, how many matches we played? I think there's been 21 possible points. I think we played 7 matches, right?
And you've got 17. You drew twice and won 4.
We drew twice, and exactly. So we've picked up 17 to 21 points. Those are top 3 numbers, top 2 numbers, right? Along a season, picking up 17 of the 22 points, if you over a 38 game span, that's a top 3 finish, right? So especially when you see teams like Inter falling and stuff like that, and Lazio, who knows what's going on over there? They don't even want to play football anymore. I'm not sure what's going on with Lazio. They haven't won in 4 games.
Yeah,
they're only 8 points back. Think about that.
They tied Udinese at 0-0. I was shocked. I'm because they could have won the Scudetto, no problem. Even Inzaghi said the COVID, the break just ruined
it. It did. But Simone Inzaghi's kind of makes excuses a lot.
I agree. Yeah, he make a lot of excuses. Team, they were amazing before, but the thing is, I think mentally they did not show up.
But in response to Marco about Pioli and whatever, so obviously Marco, you're living in Milan, you hear everything about Milan. How many, and you can answer this, how many new projects that we've had in the last 5 years? 4, 5, right? How many have you heard of the last years?
Yeah, there's been a lot. Yeah.
So, and with Lazio, right? With Lazio, they finished behind us last year. They were 7th, I believe. And look at now, right? But I feel like that's in thanks to the continuity with Simone Inzaghi. I don't know, Marco, you guys both remember, but Marco for sure, because he follows the league for work. I don't know if you remember what Lazio hired Bielsa. What's his name? Marcelo Bielsa?
Yeah.
I remember he left a week in. He was done. It didn't happen. It fell through. I'm not sure what happened, but the contract, or I don't know if you remember that, but he's not a coach anymore. So then they said, okay, I guess we'll go back to Simone Inzaghi, right? They were prepared to let him to move forward without him. And look what happened. Simone Inzaghi comes in, they get the continuity, and now they're going to make the Champions League. With this end, they could have sold Milinkovic-Savic. They didn't sell Milinkovic-Savic. Again, continuity. Luis Alberto, Immobile. They keep the same core and add to it players like Lazzari, who was like a star at Spal. Great signing. I wish we had him. And look at Lazio now. Like, obviously they could have won the Scudetto, but even coming top 3 is a great. No one had Lazio in their top 3 this year at the beginning of the season, right? Who had Lazio in the top 3? It was mostly
I didn't expect it to be top 3. I was thinking maybe Napoli being
top
up there.
5.
Yeah, top 5. But
Maybe.
I was actually very surprised.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a comment here. I don't know if you guys see on the screen. I think when Milan started talking to Ragnick, Pioli wasn't doing well. You're right. You're right, Olawale. You're right. But with time, Pioli started getting results after the new year when Rebic started coming in the team. After that, after we got killed by Atalanta 5-0, things changed. We won. We tied a game against Sampdoria, which we should have won, and we won four games in a row, I believe, 4 or 5. Then we drew, and then we lost to Genoa with no fans before the restart. And we've only lost 2 games in 2020. We lost against Inter when we blew a 2-0 lead, which is very. Marco, you weren't on the call for that game, right?
No. I was at the game then. Yeah.
You're at the game, yeah. So that was a huge collapse for us, right? That was a 2-0 lead going into halftime. That was bad. And Inter scored 4 goals, 3 goals. Inter basically did to us what we did to Juve, right? A couple of weeks ago.
Exactly. Yeah. They were very similar matches as far as.
Yeah.
But,
so. And then we lost that one, and we lost to Genoa. Those are only 2 losses of 2020. And I think we've played. I had it in front of me. I believe it was 7 plus. I think it's 13 games, 13 matches. Let me count here.
On that number, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 16 games. So we've lost 2 in 16 matches in Serie A.
Not a bad stat right there. It's pretty.
No, but isn't it crazy how you lose 2 out of 16, but you're still 16 points away from a Champions League spot?
Gianpaolo, what he did in the beginning, if it wasn't for him, if we had Pioli from the start and the mentality, what we have right now in the beginning, we could be probably the second, third, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
At least top 4. You know?
Yeah. Well, I'll ask Marco this. Oh, Marco timed out.
Oh, he timed out.
He'll come back probably.
And
so let's look at the chat. So Olawale said, I'm sure the management see the team getting better. I'm sure they have put a lot of the running performance. Said I want Pioli to stay. Honestly, okay, yeah, I think Marco's back. Marco,
sorry, it just dropped out for a second.
No problem. So we're just talking. So we're just saying that obviously. We're in such a good form in 2020, but the damage is already done with Gianpaolo at the beginning of the season. And Marco, you remember when Gianpaolo came in, we played a 4-3-1-2 with him, and we had Suso as a trequartista, and we lost to Udinese with 0 shots on target. And he said, "Okay, we're not going to do this anymore. No more 4-3-1-2. Let's go to a 4-3-3 now." So all the preseason we trained with a 4-3-1-2, and now he said, "Okay, scrap this. We can't do this anymore." And it's just a huge crapshoot, I guess I'll use for better language.
And you invested a lot on Piontek as well, who was supposed to be the pistoletto, the real gunslinger. But never really happened.
Did you do any matches that Piontek scored in last year? Were you in any of those?
Plenty last season when he was with Genoa.
Yeah, with Genoa. Were you?
And then when he kept scoring as well when he went across to Milan.
He did. He scored. I think he had like 7 or 8 games at one point. Yeah, he was scoring. He had 2 against Atalanta and a big win at Atalanta last year.
Yeah, beautiful.
And
I had him on my Fantacalcio team because I did a cup game when he was with Genoa and he'd scored like 4 in 30 minutes or something. And then I remember this guy.
I think that was 4 against Lecce. I think it was against Lecce in the Coppa Italia. But it's tough. And Milan made some mistakes. Obviously, the issue is that you look at Piontek. I'd say that was a good purchase at the time. I was like, wow, we're getting Piontek. He's been so good for Genoa, and we're getting Piontek. And then he comes in and he scores 2 goals against Napoli in the Coppa Italia. And he's scoring. He scored against Roma. He scored against Juve. He scored against Atalanta twice. And I'm like, oh my God, like this guy's the real deal. We finally found the guy. And then he takes number 9, which is cursed since people Inzaghi retired. He takes number 9 and he can't score. He can't do anything. It's a curse, Marco. It's a curse. Number 9
at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, so he started with number 19 this season.
He started number 19 last year when he came into Milan, and then because 9 was I think was 9 taken? No. Oh no, because Higuain was still on the team. He was getting sold, so he couldn't take 9. But Higuain fell into that. Higuain was a good signing in my opinion too at the time, and he looked good at the start, but then it just totally. When he I don't know if you remember the match against Juve when he got a red card for arguing with the referee. After that game against Juve, his brain was he was done. He didn't have any confidence in himself and he couldn't score anymore. And then he's been a journeyman. He was at Chelsea, went back to Juve, but I'm not even sure if Juve want him anymore. And it's kind of a bit of a journey. But I think Milan need to relax and not make any harsh decisions this summer because continuity. I don't know if you heard me before you timed out, Marco, but I was talking about, I don't know if you agree with the Simone Inzaghi Lazio with the continuity. I don't know what you think about that, but I feel like that's what Milan need, continuity. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's important to have a coach that sticks around. And I think in Serie A at the moment, I think no one's got a coach who's been there as long as Simone Inzaghi right now.
I'm trying to think.
I think
honestly, actually, how many years has Di Zerbi been at Sassuolo for? Maybe him.
Maybe could be.
About like the top.
But you're right, though. But Simone Inzaghi's been there for 4 years straight, for sure. 4 years, 4 seasons, I believe. Which is a lot in Serie A. And and Marco, you announced some of the games. The smaller teams, it's like a revolving door of coaches sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you look at
Genoa, they've gone through like 4 this season.
How about Brescia? They had oh my God, what was his name? Who started? Who was the coach? Who was the coach at the beginning of the season for Brescia? Oh my God, what was his name?
I'm gonna find this out.
No, it wasn't. Marco, do you know who was the coach before he got fired?
I'm thinking.
It wasn't.
No.
Was he bald? He was bald. What was his name?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Is it Andreazzoli? No, not Andreazzoli. The guy, the former Genoa guy.
Yeah.
Was I think the coach later on?
No, okay.
Ballardini. I can't remember his name.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So.
Corini?
Oh, it was Corini.
Corini. Eugenio Corini. Yeah. Got it.
So Brescia went Corini to Fabio Grosso, fired Grosso after 2 games.
Yeah.
Back to Corini, and they fired him, and now it's Diego Lopez.
Yeah.
So that's literally 4 different coaching changes. And Genoa loves the revolving door, and it's always it's Ballardini right now, right? Taking his spot. It's Ballardini.
No. Yeah, at the moment it's Juric.
No, it's Nicola.
Davide Nicola. You're right. Sorry, Juric.
Yeah, I think Juric had Hellas Verona, who's been doing a great job too.
Yeah.
Verona. But isn't it hilarious how these teams...
Yeah, no, consistency is definitely a good thing when it comes to making sure that you at least stay in Serie A.
Yeah, exactly. You know what the problem is, right? Is that in sports in general, any sport, a coach is hired to be fired, right? He's hired to be fired. It's a shelf life, right? The coach is always gonna wear off unless you're Arsene Wenger or Sir Alex Ferguson or something like that when you stay at the club for that many years. But yeah, I think I tweeted this yesterday, and Marco, you can disagree or agree. I think we should have tried to keep Gattuso after last season. We finished one. Which match were you on in the last match day of Serie A last year? Do you remember? Last match
question.
Day, were you in one of the games of Inter Milan or Atalanta?
No, it wouldn't have been one of the big ones. I can't remember.
Yeah, because that was when we beat Spal 3-2. We had to beat them. And Atalanta were down to Sassuolo. Berardi gets a red card at halftime, and then they come back and win. Inter are playing Empoli at home. They go up 1-0. Icardi misses a penalty, Empoli scores 1-1, and if it stayed 1-1, Milan would have made the Champions League. And then Nainggolan scored, I think, with 5 minutes left, and then Empoli had like 6 different chances in the last 3 minutes to score and tie it up. And I think D'Ambrosio cleared one off the goal line acrobatically, and that was basically like a D'Ambrosio clearance basically prevented Milan from playing in the Champions League. So Gattuso always did a good job with the team last year, especially playing a 4-3-3 with no left winger. It was Çalhanoğlu, and he's not a left winger. So I think we should have kept Gattuso for last season. And I fear, and again, I want to hear your insight on this, that getting rid of Pioli after good results is kind of the same thing as Gattuso walking last summer. It kind of reminds me.
You can just see it, can't you? Like, there won't be any good results. You think it's going to happen all again. It'll just be Groundhog Day for Milan. They'll sack their coach and maybe try and get Pioli back if he hasn't gone.
That's what I mean. That's what honestly, again, Pioli with what he's playing right now, I think that if we release him, there'll be at least 7 Serie A teams interested in hiring him this summer. I think that a perfect team for Pioli, if he did leave Milan, would be Torino, because I don't think Longo's going to stay there. I think he's going to I think he's done for this season, because Torino are in danger of relegation if they don't pick up points, eh?
I believe they're winning against Genoa right now.
Oh, are they winning right now? I think I saw a notification that Bremer scored, but I didn't know.
Yeah, 1-0 as of now.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so 1-0. So they have to pick up points, because if Genoa beat them today, so say Genoa come back, then that means Genoa would be 2 points behind them, and then like Torino would only be 4 points safe. And if they drop 2 matches, who knows, right? But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of question marks with Milan. I just hope we don't make any.
But you guys, what's your opinion? You want to see Pioli stick around?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, 100% Pioli. Yeah,
I feel like Marco, do you know much about Rangnick? Do you know much about him at all? I don't.
No, not really.
See, and that's the issue. And I don't know if you saw what Capello said. Did you see Capello's quote?
He makes a good point, Capello.
Did you see what he said, Marco, in the newspaper yesterday?
No.
He said that if Milan bring in Rangnick, he's never been in the league before. You're basically sacrificing another year, because that's another year of growing with Rangnick, because he's never been in the league before. Which I can't say I disagree with that, because I agree, because Rangnick doesn't know Serie A. He doesn't know Serie A. Like, what would he know about calcio and the league? And he doesn't even know. Like, I don't think he even speaks Italian. Apparently, he's doing lessons right now. So tell me how that's going to work right away. He's going to come in and just start producing results on results. It feels like a Gianpaolo situation all over again. Again, and of course, me and like Marco here, we're diehard fans. So whatever happens, we'll support it. We're not gonna boycott. If we haven't boycotted the club yet after the poor results of the last 8 years, we never will.
Probably even if they go to Serie B, we'll still support them.
Yeah, even if we go to Serie B, we'll support them.
So I just want to know you guys' predictions. We got Bologna, right? Sassuolo, Atalanta, Sampdoria, and Cagliari. So how many points would you say we pick up from all those games?
So what? There's 15 points available, right? 15 points?
15, yeah.
I'm not going to go predictions on the games, because they literally can go either way. I'm going to say, I'll say that a top 6 finish to get in the top 6. I know if we come 7th place, we'll make Europa League, because Napoli won the Coppa.
Yeah.
My prediction, I'll go first, is that I'll say we pick up 9 out of 15. Is my prediction. Which one? I think 9 points would be okay-ish, depending on what Napoli and Inter do against the harder games. But Napoli and Roma, sorry. I'll say 9 points. Marco, what do you think?
Yeah, tough. Because I think you'll beat Bologna. I think Sassuolo is going to be difficult. But I still think you can beat Sassuolo, and then Atalanta is difficult. Yeah. So I think if the momentum that you'll have into the Sassuolo game, if you beat Bologna, is going to be vital. So
right.
So 6. I don't know. I can see them getting 12 out of the 15 with just that hiccup with Atalanta, which we'd definitely see you guys finish top 5.
Yeah. We could beat Cagliari. Like they've ever since the new year, they totally dropped off. They were in the top 5 for a long
But
time.
Sampdoria and Cagliari won't have anything to play for in the
No,
next 2
nothing.
matches.
Well, yeah, because I think Sampdoria is safe now after the win.
Yeah.
They're
My
safe.
main concern is just Bologna, Sassuolo, and Atalanta. Those teams,
Yeah.
I'm just worried about them. Like, even if we draw, or me personally, Atalanta, I won't be surprised if we lose.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, a draw. Honestly, to get a draw against Atalanta would be a good result. If we were talking 5 years ago, we want to beat them, but now Atalanta is such a strong team that a draw is a result that I'd be content with. Just like a draw against Napoli, I wasn't mad at all. But yeah, we'll see. We've been talking for, you know what? This has been an amazing conversation, Marco. Honestly, this has been great. I guess time flies, and you're having a. I guess I could talk culture all day, realistically, but.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for having me on, fellas.
Marco, we'd love to have you on another time if you like. You know, a couple guys in the chat we're talking to, so they obviously like what we were talking about. So, Marco, you're welcome anytime. I'll be in touch with you then.
Cheers.
It's been a pleasure, Marco. Thank you for your thoughts. And really, in America, we don't have the Zone. We use ESPN Plus, but I definitely have to check you out more. And you really have great insight about the games in Milan. So thank you so much again.
Yeah, Marco.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks a lot, fellas.
Awesome. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you later.
All right,
Cheers.
guys. Forza Milan.
Bye.
Forza Milan. Ciao, guys.